you watched and idolized race car drivers like Junior Johnson and Curtis Turner, David Pearson, Cale Yarborough. And you just referenced it a moment ago, $20, and you started your own $20 for a taxi cab that you converted into a race car, a 1947 Plymouth, split it with a friend, and then did a coin toss to decide who was going to race.
Right.
And you won.
Yes. But the next week we went out and we became a 2-car team. We paid $40. And we had a bunch of our buddies pitch in $5 or whatever. And we went out and bought another car. So we became a 2-car team at that time. But yeah, it was just a dream, being a kid sitting in the stands, watching these guys race. And it was an old $99 claiming division. And I just kept working and just kept doing everything we could. And I had friends that were there helping me, and a bunch of old buddies. And we kept racing. We just loved it. We didn't know where the future would end up. Today, you look at where we're at today, and it all started with that $20 investment.
The $20 and the one-man team. You were the driver, you were the head mechanic, you were the chief engine builder, and everything in between. And slept in the back of a truck after a long day at the racetrack. Do you think about those times still today?
Yeah, I'll never forget where you came from or how you got there either. And
or the fact you might get back.
Yes. And you never forget where you came from, but always never forget how you got where you are. And we got where we are today by a lot of good people and having a lot of support by a lot of people. And it's this sport's about people, the drivers, the crew chief, the sponsors. There's so much that evolves into NASCAR racing, and that's what it takes.
There's a wonderful photo from one of your first weekends when you were a replacement driver in 1969. You took home $7,500, and you got a glass of champagne in your hand and a bologna sandwich. And I think when Ed Hinton wrote about you, and you might remember Jim Hunter, who used to be NASCAR's former chief publicist, he said that was kind of Richard Childress. Glass of champagne and a bologna sandwich.
Yeah.
And it was that humble nature that kind of kept you going as a driver. 285 starts, but you realized you could be an owner and you needed other drivers. Was that the turning point for you?
I think the turning point was I could see all of the new owners coming into our sport. Rod Osterlund, MC Anderson, Jim Stacy, on and on, Warner Hodgson. All these people were coming. Each time one of them would come in, it would bump me further back in the series. I could run a lot of top 10s. And then all of a sudden I was 12th, 15th, and I just wasn't having as much fun as I was out there racing. And I knew if I didn't do something, I would be out of business and out of the racing world. So I put the word out to RJ Reynolds that some friends that I had there at the time were our series sponsor, that, I'd get out of the car if I found the right driver. Well, Dale Earnhardt's team was bought by J.D. Stacy. He bought out Ron Osterlund, and he didn't like being sold. So he let them know that he would come and drive for me. And we put a deal together that night in Anniston, Alabama, at the old downtown. And then we went to Bristol and started racing. He raced the last 10 races for me in 2000, and that would have been 1981. And then put Ricky Rudd in the car in 82 and 83. And Dale come back 84, and the rest of it's history up to 2001 when we lost him in Daytona.